Hey everybody, this is Dirk with Loki's Reverie again. It's still Sunday, late September. I just finished up doing all the switches and relays that we're going to be using this year for Halloween, and now I thought I'd teach you something that's a little bit more involved, but loads and loads of fun. And you can make a nice corpse, a rotting, molding, ugly corpse on the cheap. If you go to the Halloween stores, they've got them from like $169, $99 for the one that just sits there, all that sort of thing. But you can actually make one for about 20 bucks or so for what you've got lying around. Really depends. You can do it a whole bunch of different ways. I'm going to do mine on the cheap. I'm basically going to be using a bunch of cast-off stuff and garbage, but you can do it however you want. I know some. Okay, I'm behind the camera right now, so you don't have to look at me. Here's your basic materials. There's really not much you need. You need something to make the basic body out of. You can use wire, you can use PVC, you can do whatever you want. I've got this old sheetrock bucket here, so I'm just going to make a torso. And I'm going to cut this up and use this basically, it's going to be your inner body core. You want to cut it up like there's some ribs, things like that. I got some furring strip for the shoulders and for the spine. I've got some pieces of scrap 1/2-inch foam rubber from one of my daughter's Halloween costumes that I'm making right now. And I'm going to use that to give it a little bit of rotting bulbous flesh stuff. Hiding down here, I've got one of the foam cast skulls that I made last night. And you're going to need some duct tape, going to need something to cut with, a Sharpie to mark out your skeleton rib cage, and then this plastic wrap. This is where the magic happens right here. Now, okay, I imagine my head's probably cut off in this cheap camera I've got, but you don't really want to see me anyway, now do you? Now, you can use a utility knife to cut this thing out if you want. I'm actually going to be using my Dremel tool here, but the first thing you want to do with this, see, it's roughly the shape of a body, kind of rounded. So I'm going to tip it over here, and I'm just going to do a quick sketch of what I think a body like that should look like. Now, oh, say although I see us. It's not a cross, it's the torso. I cut this I got some room to attach the head, and about to where my torso would end. I don't know if you can see that well, and some shoulders. And here is our cut out skeleton. This is where the shoulders will go through, and voila. I left a little bit of back flap here so I can attach it or do whatever I want. It's got that nice round shape, and it's going to work out real good. I see I used the Dremel tool with a cutting bit, so it pretty much melted the plastic, but really who cares? Alright, so then all we do is we mount it onto it like that. And then we get to the fun part. Okay, so I got it on the T-bar. There we go. Now, you notice I cheated a little bit. I cut this not exactly the same length because I just free-handed it. So I used some wire to get it in that kind of body shape that I really want. I had some wire laying around. And then I took a couple of the rib cutout pieces and I made the start for a neck and something to, give you kind of a facsimile of shoulders. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take our rough-hewn frame here. Remember, you only have to worry about what people are going to see. In this case, I'm going to put a skull face on here, and this will be what's shown, a little bit of guts here. From here down, it's all going to be just dummy, and I don't know if I'm going to do anything at all with the arms. But I actually have some of the scrap foam. Now, we are going to put expanding foam over top of this, but what we want to do first is put some fleshy bits. We put some foam on here, and you can use cotton, you can use wadded up newspaper, you can use duct tape, shopping bags, whatever you have lying around. I just happen to have this lying around. Plastic dust all in me. when this is done, these will look like more fleshy bits. Like it's got a little bit of flesh underneath there. And you can do it tight, you can do it loose. Just remember, it's just going to add effect. So I put a little bit of flesh here. I'll take a piece and I'll put it like right here so it looks like there's a little bit of flesh hanging right off of the sternum there. And you don't have to be super with it. It doesn't have to be on super tight. It just has to be on good. Okay, put that like that. Where else do I want it? Kind of Spartan up here. Put a little chunk here. Give it a little bit of hang off. Okay, now you see how that's starting to look there. A couple pieces of flesh here and there. Now this is one of those things you can do as much of it or as little of it as you want. When it's all said and done, it's going to look like bones stretched out over decaying flesh. So this doesn't matter so much, but the more of it you do, the more it looks like you got little nodules of flesh there. Okay. So here we are. And now we get to shore it up a little bit, and then we get to spray her down with foam. I've got this older can of great stuff floating around. All we got to do, just get a little bit of foam here and there. Now remember, the foam will stick to almost everything. Plastic, not so much.
Now, this will expand a good half or so inch. What's going on here? There we go. You don't have to get every little bit of it. You can get as much of it as you want, or as little as you want.
Because we're going for the whole rotting corpse look, I'm going to take a piece of foam rubber here, and then I'm just going to make some bad low spots here in it. Doesn't matter what or how. If you screw it up, you can always do it over. There we go. A bit of that. I took off a little bit too much here. Way too much here. And there we go. And now we just wait for that to dry.